Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So with the introduction of Drake's Corsair, this raises the debate of, do you choose the Constellation or do you choose the Corsair? In this video, we will take a look at both ships and see what each ship's strengths and weaknesses are, ultimately helping you to decide which one to go for. As always, a big shout out to my patrons. If you like my videos, guys, and want to help support my channel, do follow the link below in the description. So the Drake Corsair was intentionally created as a competitor to the RSI Constellation. Personally, I see it as more of a direct comparison to the Constellation Aquila due to its exploration ability. The best way to look at each ship and compare them is to look at each ship's strengths, as they do differ somewhat, and the trade-offs are quite evenly spread, meaning it could just come down to aesthetics and what you specifically prefer, more weapons or more cargo. Now the trade-offs for the Constellation, the pros of the Constellation Aquila is that it can carry more cargo, it's got more missiles, it's got the Robert Space Industries aesthetic, it comes with a free Ursa rover, it's less fragile than the Drake lineup as a whole, and it also has a dedicated scanning seat, which the Corsair does not. The Corsair's pros are it's got way more guns, more turrets, it has Drake's aesthetic, it's got individual rooms for the crew, plus a much better interior layout. Now, one of the biggest selling points for the Constellation is that it does come with this free Ursa rover. The Corsair does not. Drake may one day create a rover, but currently there are no plans, nor does it change the fact that it doesn't come with one as standard. That is probably one of the biggest points. The rover allows you to explore on the surface, covering ground much faster than on foot, plus also keeps you protected. Obviously, you could just buy a rover for the Corsair, but that is an additional cost. The 20 standard cargo units is the cargo difference between the two. Not really a big deal, but it does play a part. The Constellation has 96, I believe it is, whereas the Corsair has somewhere in the region of 74, I believe. But the weaponry, however, is very different. The Constellation guns, it's got 4 M6A laser cannons. It's got one size 2 turret with 2 CF-220 Badger repeaters, and it also comes with 24 size 2 missiles. The Corsair, however, comes with 2 size 4 weapons, 4 size 5 weapons, 2 turrets, each with 2 size 2 guns, and then 1 remote turret with 2 size 2 guns. Plus, it only has 8 size 3 missiles. That is an extensively larger range of weaponry, which does actually provide a much greater arc of fire as well. The Constellation will definitely be more of a vulnerable ship, but until we see what CIG mean by the Drake ships being more fragile, we can't really say how important this will be. The final difference is just purely down to how each look inside and out. Do you prefer RSI or do you prefer Drake? The fact that people do have manufacturer preferences is really cool, and it does play a big part into whether you want or even like a ship. I personally love Drake's used industrial and exposed style far more than RSI. The Constellations are iconic to Star Citizen and forever will be, but their design feels cold and heartless. But this also applies to the interior. The Constellation's layout isn't all that great. It has some nice touches, but it's very bland, whereas the Corsair's interior is pretty cool, from its dedicated components room to the individual hubs and the mess hall, and even that unique cockpit design. It is just far more interesting than Constellation. Now obviously I'm not going to tell you which ship is better, as that is very subjective to each and every person. Now I prefer the Corsair, but I feel that that's just down to my love for Drake. We will have to test them out in some situations and against each other and see which one comes out on tops. But with that said, do let me know which one you prefer and why. Make sure you follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers. Also hit that subscribe button and tick that notification bell so you know when my videos go live. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.